Yung next page pa. Next page. Konti. Next page. Then we move for approval the minutes of September 28, 10 a.m.
Move for the approval of the meeting, September 28, 2017, meeting session.
Wait for signature, please. Next one, and September 28 for afternoon session at 2 p.m.
Excuse me. Sorry, galing ako sa sir. Last rescue exercise ng million. There was an instruction. I don't know if this was cascaded to the group or not. But last ops meeting with the DG and from the instruction of the secretary, there was, let's validate this enough. There was an instruction that on the bidders, it was required that,
Yeah.
it was required that
The secretary actually required all
board,
bank,
board members.
yes, all bank tax agencies to require individual board members of the corporation to submit their individual income tax
Income
return.
tax.
Not just the corporate income tax return, but the individual tax return of individual board members of a corporation or a company participating in any bids, procedures, in CAAP for that matter. So I don't know how the secretariat is going to implement that, but I think we're going to include that in our bid bulletin. Bid bulletin are part of the requirements of the bidders. So that was the requirement given by the secretariat. So we need to incorporate that. Board of directors.
Board of directors ng bidders. So,
Single proprietorship. No. We have to require both. Yung sa company, hindi yung individual owner. It's going to be cumbersome, more cumbersome, but we need to comply with the requirement of the secretary. Single proprietorship. Kung single proprietorship, ano ba ang law sa tax when it comes to single proprietorship? You have to file the income of the company, but you also have your own income tax. So that's going to be two separate income taxes. So we're going to requirement. If that is the requirement, we have to verify. But ang understanding ko, dalawa pa rin yung income tax. Yung sa company, na single proprietorship, diba? Kasi may mga and the individual income yung individual. That may not be the only source of his income. That's why he may have to file also his individual income tax.
So it is a corporation, even the income tax of the corporation.
Yes.
We are required to vote.
Both.
The income tax of the members of the board, as well as the
The corporate income tax and the individual tax income tax return of the individual board of directors.
so let's take note of that, and then let's see what we will not see the applicability of it, but rather we have to apply it. On how to go about it is let's see how to go about it. Okay, but we have the choice rather to implement it. Let's just be wary of questions from the other side. Why, on all the whys, and then we should have rather the answers to that. I'm not a legal guy, but
Sir, if I may. Sir, this applies to the subsequent
yes. Yung nakasalang na ngayon, hindi na. Yung susunod, natin i-open, yun na natin i-apply. Kasi huli na to nakasalang na itong mga nandito na
Sir, during post-call, sir, kailangan yung ibang submit, sir, hindi na kailangan, sir.
Sorry?
Kasi in post-qualification, sir, we asked for additional documents. Yung previously na na-open na natin, sir, hindi na kailangan hingin, sir.
Let's see. Kung may window tayo na pwede natin hingin natin. Pero kung yung natapos na nakapag-submit na, and then for the opening of the bid na, wala na, tuloy na hero na tayo doon. Pero kung may window tayo na pwede ba natin hingin natin.
Siguro sir, mas maganda kung We will just record them during post qualification. Yung nakapasa lang po sa bid, kung post qualify natin na bidder, siya lang hihinga natin.
However it is.
Yes, sir.
That's why I'm asking for an any window, open window for us to ask him. Let's ask him. Okay, sige. Let's
Post qualify.
okay, let's proceed.
Let's skip first the review and then mode of procurement for the following projects. Number 3.1, supply and delivery of spare parts for Vaisala Meteorological Instrument at ANS Technical Center. Any user, please?
User, please.
For ANS? Vaisala?
Move on to the next one.
So any user is not available, just skip this one, sir. Next is 3.2, supply and delivery of 3 sets of 8-channel voice logging system. ANS, any user, please?
Meron silang going strategic CNC system.
Okay. So, no end user, still same.
Wherever they are by.
Nabigyan ng notice ng ANS. Sometimes kasi yung Vaisala is we don't know if it's direct contracting.
Vaisala na kasi yan, so direct sa
So it's brand
Vaisala.
kasi yun eh. Although,
Spare parts, lalo na spare part, Vaisala lang magabigay niya. Direct contracting yan. Yan ito mo.
Gender na lang ulit yan, hindi sila sumipot. Hindi sila interesado dyan. Spare for is not urgent. I-calendar nila sa susunod na meeting yan.
exclusive agent of Vaisala. So, direct contracting.
Although there was a motion from Sir Gil that we defer,
Yes, it is calendar it since nobody's
ANS matters, maybe we should just wait for them to appear here, let present themselves, but we may have questions that we cannot answer, so let's just proceed to the other items not involving ANS.
Okay, sir.
If that is okay with the other members, even if it is just mode of procurement, maybe afterwards they will be here, so let's just wait for them. If they're going to say after an hour or so, then we proceed. That is just my manifestation. We proceed with the others, not involving ANS. If there are any, meron pa ba?
Meron pa po, sir.
I know, I understand that this is just mode of procurement, but it would be better if there is, in case we have questions.
Yes po, noted po, sir. So, we'll proceed. So, we'll defer.
Okay na ako ito kasi meron pa naman rin ako.
Para order related baka.
So, we'll just,
Balikan lang natin, after 30 minutes baka may pumunta.
so number 3.2, same with the ANS. So, we'll just defer for a while. Next, number 3.3, supply, delivery, and installation of DNS appliance. Still ANS. And supply, delivery of calibration, salt, and accessories for Vaisala, XMK, 1.5 humidity calibrator, also for ANS. Next one is also supply and delivery of UPS for all DVR at Puerto Princesa Airport, ANS.
Hanggang after na naman meron tayo siguro yung take-up sa other matters.
Ang meron kasi yung transition waiting sa Senate. Pero yung importansya ngayon ng module is
Sige, let's proceed in 3.6, I think.
3.6, FICG, please. Can you, sir? Purchase of GPS battery pack and update of navigation data, database, and airport directory database for flight inspection aircraft. Sir, can you occupy the seat? So it's worth 114,138 pesos and 63 cents. That's the purchase request. Or mode is, what will be recommended mode for this project? SBT, Shopee, SBT. Next is 3.7, procurement of tractor mower at various airport for 20,625,000 for ADMS. Pakipili. Uh, 3.7, sir. Mode, sir. It's worth 20,625,000.
Next question lang dito kasi yung nasa sa floor pa niya. Tinatanong ako ni area manager kung nag-classify ito as service vehicle.
Yeah.
Kasi pag vehicle ko, kailangan meron lang approval.
Correct. How do we classify this?
Can you, sir, please?
I-register ba yan sa
Ma'am,
LTO?
as for classification kasi we classify it as equipment. Ang ibibigay lang namin sa DBO is yung service vehicle na which is ginagamit talaga natin for transportation, transport purposes.
But to the chair, under legal parlance, a motor vehicle has a legal definition. So we have to be careful. Even if we classify it otherwise, there is a legal definition. The one being used, whether a particular vehicle is subject of car mapping or not. So may we request that the WG members should enlighten us as to the legal definition, if this would actually fall under what a vehicle is, because ultimately be the justification if it needs DBM approval. Di ba may definition? Na may lalabas ko. Search na natin.
Can we have a breakdown on various airports na kasi sinusulat natin? Ano bang airports na? Kasi remember guys, hindi patag ang mga areas natin. Hindi sakto eh.
Bulldozers, graders, forklifts.
Jasper, meron ka dyan.
Meron, sir.
The same thing is okay.
Kaya parang dumaan siya, parang nilalagay dumaan sa procurement yun, DB, don't know what. Yung dako naman, somebody from procurement will attest to the
Punta na, Pasko kailangan natin ng tractor doon. Plaridel, Dipolog, ang liliit sa mga lugar yan. Galing ako lately sa Plaridel. I would understand Tacloban, Calibo, Jensan, Puerto, Davao. But these small airports, Camiguin, my goodness. How did we come up with this request?
Thank you, sir.
Sir, regarding the distributions for the tractor mower, most of them is endorsed by the chief ADMS kung saan yung mga area managers sa respective airports nila is nire-request para doon sa particular airport.
And we did not whatsoever. But, gentlemen, let's use logic, basic logic on this. The Polog katabi ng dagat. Ang gilid yun, ang liit lang. Kailangan natin traktor doon. Basco. Wala halos space yan doon. Plaridel. My point here is that hindi lang natin basta dito dalhin sa BAC. And then without validating and without any reasonable justification of why we're doing that. Hindi porke ni-request nila, tatakil natin dito.
Yes, sir. So, I will discuss the matter with my
Please.
chief. Yes, sir.
Please, thank you.
So we'll defer this one, sir.
Yes.
Yung issue, sir, na sabay na okay lang na yung issue ng approval ba sa office or pwede naman na.
The question that arises actually whether that would fall under remover vehicle, and based on our validation and research, it will not fall under the definition of remover vehicle.
So yun ang answer
The next agenda is 3.8, purchase of 2 units heavy-duty handheld barcode scanning equipment for supply worth 360,000.
Actually, the status is not
Yeah,
again. Those requests were based on the sa request ng COA. Yung observation nila, kailangan doon ng bago. It so happens, walang yung scan dito. So, dalawang units as 360. Upon advice ng budget, sa budget na lang, instead of realigning some funds. So, that is advice of the budget in consonance of pursuant to the request and findings of COA. That CAAP produce kailangan yung mga bago.
So, SPP.
SPP.
The next one is number 4, pre-procurement conference for the following projects. 4.1, list of aircraft for CAAP FICG flight mission nationwide for various airports and ANF stations for the period of 3 years. So that's 3 years. We have discussed before. Sir, as the last minute, sir, the minutes of the meeting requires Attorney Danjun and Mr. Felisilda to
Require
Now we request that on the nila.
Well, we gave verbal instructions to the technical working group actually to prepare a presentation regarding the validity of a 3-year for a multi-year contract so that there will be no doubts to the mind of the BAC members in approving such contract. Because previously there were reservations manifested by members as to the 3-year multi-year contract. So now I think Attorney Rob and Attorney Marty will be presenting something, and there was a
I mean, Chair. We've been going through the GPPB opinion for this matter, and there's several times this has been asked, and the GPPB position on this has always been that there's a leaded directly from non-policy memorandum 082/2013. It says that RA 9184 and its IRR are silent on the matter of multi-year contracts. Nonetheless, it is not to be understood that that procuring entities are prohibited from entering into multi-year contracts inasmuch as it is an acceptable form of contractual arrangement. And several times they would opine that it would be left to the discretion of the BAC and the head of the procuring entity to decide whether to enter into such contract. So as TWG, that is our position on the matter. We leave it to the BAC members whether to pursue the mediation.
we, according to their meaning, Attorney Rob, saying by and large, just to be sure, multi-year contract to be entered into by an agency is not prohibited, it is allowed, but left to the some discretion of the procuring entity.
Yes.
But earlier we were discussing about a circular that you found on the BBM website.
Yes.
Can you enlighten the chair and the vice chair?
The only reservation that the DPP raises in their opinion is that as long as the BAC will comply with DBM circular letter number 2004-12, basically the DBM circular requires the procuring entity to obtain an authority from DBM to enter into multi-year obligations. It's a multi-year obligational authority. That's the only requirement. But whether or not to enter into such an agreement is left to the discretion of the BAC.
To the chair, to the procuring to the user units, did we already secure the authority from authorization from DBM to enter into a multi-year contract?
I'm aware of that memorandum circular. And to my research, it is only applicable for national government. For GOCCs, it is up to the board. And I would like to cite this as an example when we were procuring an aircraft. We thought that we need to seek authority from the Malacanang. We have that letter from that. And then Malacanang responds that it is the board has to decide because we have under the procurement law, and it is the authority. Board has the authority to decide whether to procure the aircraft or not. We have the record of that service from the Malacanang.
So, just for the information of Attorney Dan, during the last meeting, I remember we had a short discussion on the 3-year or 1-year period. A member, Jet was around, Silva was around, on the discussion on this particular project, and even the Chief Finance, including myself, of course, you were presenting that initially then we had agreed on a 1-year basis, a 1-year term. This was the same, because at that time, we have no lawyers, and I think Attorney Marty is still around, but signified his decision on that as from the legal standpoint. I am giving this information because of the new, in light of the new provision that were brought in by Attorney Daniel. Just for the information. As to comment on the letter mentioned by the end user, maski naman ang board user to decide, ang board naman, they will rely on the legal basis to proceed in whatever action that we have to do. In the case of procurement of aircraft, although Malacanang says the board will decide, of course, the board will decide based on a legal Thank you, sir.
We continue the presentation. We decide. Proceed with the procurement.
I have a presentation to clarify on the last meeting, there was a question of significant romantic interest in time. So I have prepared a presentation for the association members as to why there's a significant interest of this structure that the government proposed, and also why we are opting or proposing for a multi-year contract. So with your permission, can I present it?
The chair, may I recommend that we allow FICT to present whatever they're going to present and then outline to us later on the items that the BAC need to decide on, so that we will be advised on, what do we need to say, what do we need to decide, or if there's a voting that is needed from the BAC members based on your presentation. This has been pending for quite a time already.
And mind you guys, we are coming into the end of the year. Only about 2 months for a 2017 budget for this.
The chair requests, we know that's decided for 1 year. Based on the strength of the argument, it's multi-year contract.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Yes, that's it. Yes, good morning. Allow me to present as an introduction the flight inspection rental contract history for the 5 years, 2012 to 2017. In 2012, we have awarded an 18.5 million contract for 10 stations covering 28 navigational facilities for 106 hours. The award started in April 2012 and completed in June 2012, that is for 3 months. In 2013, another contract was awarded in the amount of 39.9 for 29 stations covering 62 navigates for 230 hours. And this was completed in 18 months. In 2015, another was awarded 38.6, 193 hours, 62 navigates completed in 1 year. In 2016, a 40 million contract was awarded and was completed in 8 months, covering 200 hours for 63 navigates. And in 2017, an additional contract was awarded for 9.9 million and was completed in 3 months. Now, based on that, the CAAP flight inspection operation status history is that on April 2012 to June 2012, FICG is operational. July 2012 to February 2013, 8 months, were in hiatus, wala kaming flight check. During this period, personally, nagdadasal na ako, kinakabahan ako na walang mangyaring insidente. So, another contract, March 2013, 2014, we are operational. Again, 2014 of October to 2015 January, we had no operation for 4 months. 2015 up to 2016 were operational, and 2016 February up to March we are not operational for 1 month. April 2016 till March 2017 we are operational, and After that, so we're still operating, but based on that, we have no contract. So this is the reason why we opted for a multi-year contract. Parati kaming those downtime that we have, kasama na ang bidding process. 3 months ang inaalaw na pinakamabilis dapat na latest na i-award. And 8 months, 4 months. Medyo mas swerte kami nung 2016, 1 month lang.
Ito na. Yesterday you showed me a schedule on the availability of the aircraft.
Yes, sir.
So would that follow also with this contract? Would we be at their mercy kung kailan lang nila available, kailan nila tayo bibigyan ng aeroplano? Or meron tayong clause wherein na meron dedicated aircraft for our specific schedules?
So if we have a contract, we have all the same. We can penalize them if whenever we need the aircraft and it's not available, we can penalize them. So just like with the previous contracts, kung anong schedule na binigay namin na susunod. So with our situation now, so nakagamit tayo, salamat pa rin sa kanila. Pero yun nga, depende sa availability ng aircraft nila. So that's why we are pushing for this na at least for the next 3 years, wala kaming problemang downtime. So that's...
Do we have a provision in the contract also wherein AOG and aircraft?
Yes, sir.
Anong fallback position natin din?
Sa AOG, may backup. Right? Nung previous, iisang flight inspection aircraft nila. Pero pag AOG, mayroong sumusundo ka agad sa amin, tapos nakukumpay ka agad nila. Pero this contract, we will be requiring this company or this service provider for 2 aircraft. Kaya wala na kaming makikitang
Capable for all
capable boxer.
Well, just like right now,
Yes.
natin check
Ngayon,
ILS
nag-iisa.
because iisa ang aircraft.
We will require them to have 2 flight inspection aircraft. 2. Para walang downtime.
Is it not right and proper and common sense na the service provider should be able to present to us that they are capable of providing the services that we require? Right now, we are seeing that they only have 1 aircraft which is only capable of providing the services that we require. Tulad ngayon, ILS, hindi natin nasi-check. Dahil isang aeroplano ang capable na nun, sira pa yung equipment.
So on the previous contract,
No. Don't dwell on the previous contract. I'm saying right now, on the capability of the service provider of providing the services that we require.
yes, I mean, sir, that's why I'm referring to the previous contract. The condition there is that we did not specifically state that the aircraft must be both. So right now, this time we will be.
I understand. I am saying right now, hindi ba natin pwedeng i-require ngayon ng service provider to show us that they are capable of providing the services that we require?
Right now, sir.
Right now.
Pwede, sir. Actually,
That's why I'm saying, dapat pakita mo na silang gila sa atin na yung aeroplano natin na gagamitin ay capable.
Yes, sir.
Dahil right now, ang aeroplano nila, hindi.
May instruction kanina sa akin si Vicky na talk to them para magamit ka agad na to speed up yung
Exactly. Nakausap ko rin siya.
nausap ko na sila kanina.
Oo. Pero, anong capability nito service provider to provide us the services that we require?
Right now, sir, maghihintay tayo doon sa other mercy na matapos.
Exactly.
Pero,
Exactly. Now, we shall consummate this deal wherein the service provider is not capable of providing the services that we require.
right now, sir. But
Right now.
once the
Paano natin tatapusin itong usapan na ito? Yung aeroplano na require natin, hindi capable.
So we will see, sir. Nakipag-usap ako sa kanila kanina. Sabi within 2 to 3 weeks, i-up nila eh. So, yun lang. We will see. So, I told them that
It is just like other procurements wherein we require the bidders, the service providers, the contractors on their capabilities to provide. And now I am asking, in behalf of the board, whether or not this service provider is capable.
They were capable previously, sir. That's just
They
that's
were.
what the circumstances
That's
right
why
now.
I'm telling you, do not dwell on the past. Let's see now.
Yes, sir. So that's why I'm stating that there was an instruction, and I talked to the service provider that we need the aircraft. April, November 2000.
I am asking a very straightforward question. Are they capable now or not?
Now, sir, limited.
Exactly. Now we will consummate this deal, bring it to the board for approval, wherein the service provider cannot comply to our requirements. Is it not fit and proper for us to ask them?
Right now, it's fit, sir. But what I'm saying is that once we continue with the process, and by the time that
Do not misconstrue me on this, that I do not like this, because we really need
yes,
this.
I understand. I
We
understand.
really need this. It is just fit and proper for me to ask whether this service provider is capable of providing the services that we require.
Right now, sir, as I've said, it's limited, and it can be so resolved. But right now, the capability is limited.
I leave it to the board to decide, but I am questioning. The pleasure of the board, any comments? Yun lang ang nakikita ko. But we really need this. Dahil nung mag-present ng ANA sa atin, instead of green, color-coded, puro tayo pula. Ang dami nating mga airports na hindi na natin nakakalibrate, hindi na natin nabibisita. I'm raising the question lang kasi I don't want to be misconstrued or misunderstood with this, that we are favoring this deal, but we really need this. I am suggesting that let's get through with the BAC, let's bring it to the board, and for the board to decide on the multi-year contract.
Yes, sir.
I'm leaving the floor open for any comments.
Do we have other options? I mean, the authority, do we have other options other than the particular service provider that is being presented?
We have other options. That's why on the doc, we opted for a public bidding so that other bidders can join. There are other bid service providers, but foreign. That's why in the bid documents I included foreign, but that will take time. I have an experience in that kind of procurement. Sobrang hirap.
Meaning, when the chair was asking you if the service provider is capable of providing service that you're requiring, you have someone in mind already. Because you said earlier that they cannot at this point in time. But what you're saying now, sir, is that based on the lead documents and the whatever we have, it's going to be open to other providers.
Yes, sir. It's only unfortunate that this is the only loan service provider in the Philippines, and I opened this for other service providers, foreign service providers.
But it does not preclude us from entertaining others, meaning if we publish this or if we open it up for bidding, others may participate.
It's just that ito lang talaga ang service provider.
So if others will participate, it is possible that we get to address the concern of the chair, that we may be able to get a service provider who is capable of providing us the requirement, right? The requirement that FICG would be needing, and as a matter of fact, continuously need.
I don't know if I'm getting the question of the Mr. Chair regarding the capability of the service provider. All I know is that we have been using them. They are capable.
But you answered earlier that they are not.
No, I'm not saying not limited.
Okay, let's say limited.
Yes,
Meaning
at this
they are
time.
not 100% competent to provide whatever is under the contract. So what if there is breach? The concern of the chairman is if we present it to the board and then they get to ask the same question, are you sure 100% that they can give you and provide you the services you require? How do we answer them, sir?
As of, as of this time,
Manny, it would be prudent kasi to say, sabi mo nga we will require them to, at least two. It would be prudent to say that these service providers shall present to us that they have two. Yun ang requirement natin eh.
yes, sir, that's right.
Now, you said limited.
At this point, at this point in time, sir.
Exactly.
At this point
Now, I'm getting to your point na kung hindi mo na ako naiintindihan, yung sabi mo kasi, we will require them to.
Yes,
Ilan
sir.
ba ngayon ang meron sila?
Dalawa.
Ilan ang capable sa requirements natin?
Yung isa limited, yung down is yun nga yung hinihintay namin. Yun yung under repair, which they promise na within 2 to 3 weeks will be up for us to use it. That's why.
Well, common sense will tell me na hindi sila capable.
I would not.
At this time, we're talking at this point in time.
Not capable and limited capable is two different aspects, sir.
I understand.
So,
hindi natin na-fulfill ang requirements natin with them. Ilan ang backlog mo?
Yung previous, no, sir. Previous na puro pula, all green. So, we were able to comply those previous meetings that were raised by ANS. All green. Nakatitira ko na lang ngayon in all public.
Now, it would be wise also to present to us kung anong requirements ng FICG, right? Other than these hours, flight hours that you require. Ano bang specs ng aeroplano kailangan mo?
Ang minimum specifications pa na aircraft for flight inspection aircraft is that a twin engine with automatic flight inspection system. Yun lang, sir.
Ano yung automatic flight inspection system?
An automatic flight inspection system is, as per requirement of document 8071, capable of doing flight inspection and calibration of all radio navigation aids such as ILS, DOR, DME.
Tatanungin kita, anong equipments kailangan mo to do that?
An equipment is a dedicated flight inspection system. It could be a Sierra, it could be an airfield technology, but the specification of that is clear on document 8071.
Do they have that?
They have that, which we have been using. The flight inspection system is capable. Ang platform ang may problema. They have that office. The portable, they have that. It's capable for flight inspection of all navigation as per ICAO requirements. It's just that the platform right now is yun ang may problema sa kanila. It's not that the system is defective. It's working, serviceable, except that yung sensor doon sa specific na aircraft na pinaglipatan ko, yung glide slope antenna, wala siya. Yung original na ginagamit, which has the capability, yun yung may antenna. So, ginawan ko ng paraan para magamit yung isang aircraft nila. Para at least hindi tayo lahat ng DOR, DMEs, ma-check at saka localizer except the glide slope.
Does it?
Yes.
Does it fit in your requirements?
It's not a question of fit in our requirements. It is a requirement of ICAO.
No. For your requirements.
It is a requirement.
Does it fit it right now?
Yes.
I'll take your word for it.
Yes, sir. The only problem is the aircraft, the platform. It's the system that really does the job of doing the calibration is the AFIS, this automatic flight inspection system. The aircraft is just a platform, and the minimum requirement for that is has to be a multi-engine.
Do you still have?
So, if you will allow me, I have to present some more data.
Go ahead, sir. Please continue the presentation so that we will decide.
So this is the proposal of 2007-2019. 446 hours for navigation, 436 and 460 until 2019, and for visual aids 327 for the 3 years, and the emergency and administrative flight 200 hours per year. This is the block time distribution of those previously awarded contracts, in amount of 40 million on average. So, and also 200 hours, and those are the four elements of ILS, BOR, IFP, and enroute. What constitutes the 200 hours? So 67 hours for check of ILS, 31 for BOR, 14 for instrument-like procedure, and 88 hours for the enroute. And that's the contract under 2013, 2015, and 2016 contracts. Please take note that there are only 4 elements of this contract, or rather the scope. We have ILS DME, BOR DME, instrument flight procedures, and enroute. With the 2017 proposal, wherein the estimated time is 446, and you can see from the chart that there are 6 scope: ILS DME, BOR DME, PBN, radar, instrument flight procedures, and enroute, including the enroute time. So, for your appreciation, the data is presented for 2017.
And have we annotated, provided for the PBN checks for other airports that we're in? We will be developing PBN approaches.
So this is considered now. We have factored that in.
Na-factor na natin.
Yes, factored in na yun.
Kasi may mga bago tayong airports.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So naka-factor na siya dyan.
Factored in na yun, sir.
Okay.
So, this is the 2017 block time versus previous contracts. For year 2017, for the ILS DME, we have an increase of 52.2%. From 67 hours to 102. BOR DME, 167%. IFP, 150%. For enroute, 71. And we have an additional time of, for the PBN, 70. For radar, this time is 5 hours only, because that is for the flight radar. Yung 10 radar ngayon is scheduled next year. This is for 2018. Makikita natin yan, 0 ang PBN, and radar is 65 hours. The rest, parehas na din nung 2017, and here is the increase. And also, for 2019, balik na naman yung PBN. You may have noticed that this contract doesn't include visual aids. Our contract is purely navigational aids. So you may be wondering, what are we using? Is it 206? Well, 206 partly, but in 2012, then Director General Gutierrez entered into memorandum of understanding with cargo house, wherein the aircraft was hangared in our hangar, I mean, with a monthly payment or lease of 25,000 per month. And in addition to that, we were allowed to use the aircraft for check of navigational aids. Actually, this is na navigational aids. This is autocopies kasi wala itong AFIS. And it's stated here that cargo house shall allow CAAP free of charge to utilize the aircraft, including its crew, for use CAAP personnel, exclusively for the following purpose: navigation check and ocular inspection of various airports. Kaya wala kaming dahil nagagamit namin ito, ang expense lang ng office is fuel. So, until 2000, sometime in 2016, umalis na sila, may hangar na sila. Doon nag-umpisa na we try to use yung Learjet for visual aids. Sobrang bilis, hindi ka makakakuha ng enough data ng theodolite. Mas magastos, kaya we opted for the Pilatus. Yun nga yung huling medyo charge tayo at the same rate ng Learjet. So, using Learjet, yung supply check ng PAPI is mas mahal kaysa yung mag-Pilatus. At although alam natin na ang rate na mabayaran natin sa kanila is same as Learjet, but this time makukorek na natin kung it will be awarded. And it has been corrected yung 9.9 million na magkaiba ang rate ng dalawa. If we're going to use the Learjet rate. If Pilatus rate. So, that concludes my presentation, and I hope for the appreciation of the chairman and members of this committee.
Thank you, Manager. Thank you. Yeah, Mr.
Question lang po, Sir Manny. Dito sa I'm not technical. Are you enrolled?
Yun yung
Yung pag-take off po dito.
pupunta kayo punta sa stasyon.
Doing pa rin,
Hindi.
calibration pa rin.
You have to, pag Manila, pag take off namin, in-route yun. Pag land namin ng Davao, halimbawa, consider in-route time yun.
Parang galing sa Manila, gusto mong punta ng Tagaytay. Yung dadaanan daw namin, Carmona, Southwoods, Lucea, Santa Rosa, yun ang en route. Pero ang purpose mo, doon papunta sa Tagaytay.
Sir, kasi naisip ko lang kasi di ba dyan sa sa program mo kasama dyan yung admin and
Yes.
So tinitingnan ko lang saan papasok din yung number of hours na kinakailangan mo for your emergency and administration.
So yung nahihirapan talaga ako, honestly, wala ang sa history ng paggamit. Mababa yung mga previous na natin. Ang mababa. So, ang emergency, I don't see any, how are we going to quantify the time allotment for emergency? It's emergency. So, we don't have the history of whatever untoward events just to quantify yung emergency. So, ang ko din sa admin flight, but I will have to present yung flights, admin flights na consume as of today nitong present administration, and already have consumed 116 hours. Is your indulgence. Eto, wala pa ako nung bago hindi ako makakuha ng data nung prior October 8, but as of starting from October 8, 2016, until September 21, 2017, 109 hours na ang na-consume for administrative And those are all officials.
So yun ang kinukunin ko lang yung kung ganito tayo tanong ako yung ano ba yung enroll. Kasi may radar, may ano, baka doon kaya yung number of hours yung nilagay.
Ito, wala. Baka sa ano, enroll na yun.
Kasi yung pinakita ko kanina ng tables mo, yung sabihin wala dyan. Well, itong emergency administration, wala dun sa ano.
Yan lang mismo, yung equivalent ng enroll, yan lang mismo, yung 110 sa admin flight. Kasi sa amin, kasi pagpunta namin sa isang station, yun yung en route time mo pagpunta namin doon. Doon pala kami
yung biyahe mo.
Yung biyahe yun.
Yung biyahe mo papunta doon.
So ito, sa admin flight, yan na mismo yung pwede mo lang sabihin en route na yan. Biyahe yan mismo. From engine start hanggang engine stop.
Yung tipo na gusto kang gawin doon sa Iloilo, kung sa Manila ka, yung pagka-alis mo dito, papunta Iloilo, yun yung oras na yun na kinain mo.
Para ka sumakay ng airline, in route mo yung hanggang sa amin.
Pero ang purpose mo nandun sa Iloilo.
Hindi ka tama waiting time.
Dito sa ano, walang waiting yan, may kontrata, walang waiting time. Basta block time yan eh. So, walang waiting time. Hindi kasi yan na charter na ano eh, na mayroon silang waiting time, ganun. Etong sa, ano natin sa kanila is wala. Basta time consume. Ang ano lang yan is block time. Engine start, engine stop.
What do you need us to decide on, sir?
Well, I will leave it to the body if it's multi-year or on a yearly basis.
What is the pleasure of the user unit? If you're going to convince us, what is the intention of the user unit? Would you recommend for us to go through a multi-year or a single-year contract? If you want to convince us, in order
I would recommend, I've started with this, the reason why I presented this, I would recommend for a multi-year contract, also that to avoid hiatus, which we have been, it's a really big problem on our part.
hiatus meaning,
No operation, downtime,
why is that?
because we don't have an aircraft.
But if it's going to be a year to year, we renew it every year, there's not going to be any hiatus. Is there a difference if we renew it on a yearly basis or get it for a multi-year basis?
But if that's the case, if for year to year and there's no need for another bidding process, well, I agree with that.
Based on your experience, no. If it's going to be a year-on-year contract, it's going to be a bidding every year. So of course you cannot do away with that. Based on your experience, does it delay the operations of FICC is based on a yearly contract? Because well, I have to be honest with you right now. Better the pleasure of the members is actually to do a year-on-year contract. But if you're saying, and if you can convince the members that multi-year contract is actually way to go, considering that there is no legal prohibition, then we may change our mind. But then again, we would be asking you to present it to the board later on.
Well, my pleasure is that I would really recommend for a multi-year contract. If it's year-to-year contract, it has to go to bidding process. My experience is that hindi nangyayari tuloy-tuloy, parating may downtime as presented. And it's not worse, 8 months is worse. Prior to that, meron tayong 2 years, imagine, tumahimik lang kami. So, yun lang.
I get your point. Okay, so we have to decide on this, and we will the floor open for any comments and suggestions from the members of the board.
Manny, please correct me.
Yes, please.
Correct me, Manny, if I'm wrong, if I get something, got some data that I have to ask. We've been discussing it for quite a time. It's basic that you work hand in hand with ANS, flight inspection, flight calibration. I've also noticed the questions of engine facing that something to do with calibration and even checking the terminologies of the terms of reference. I may not be that accurately familiar with that, but what does ANS have something to do with all the concerns which Engineer Felicita has been espousing even the previous meeting. That is why during the last meeting, I asked and requested for deferment of discussion because there are some concerns which are very big to other members, very clear only to ANS, who happens to be within, I think, within the functions of the department handled by Felicita, and probably there are some members of ANS who could shed light on this matter. I had a chance to talk with the head of the ANS that as to the functions, these terms of reference or these schedules or whatever you may call it on the technical side, whatever term you call it, this has to be commented upon or evaluated by ANS. I mean, we're going to decide on it right now, go proceed with it. I think we need, I'm sorry, but it would seem that there needs to be some kind of a delay or deferment until such time that this presentation has been commented upon by the concerned or technical persons of ANS.
Addition lang din, sir. Kahapon sa budget hearing namin, malinaw kasi sabi ni Captain Pasano, yung area center ang magdidictate sa FICG kung ano, kasi may mga replacement ng INS. Sila ang magsasabi sa FICG lang kung ano yung mga projects. Kaya sabi ko, meron namang ang FICG ang nagbabudget.
There is a requirement, a periodic check which is fixed yun. Siguro yung sinasabi niyo ma'am na FI area center ang magdidictate. Whenever there are unscheduled flights, unscheduled down of facilities where they were able to restore it, that requires flight check. Siguro yung time na not dictate, request as per operation manual. We have an operation manual that any facilities that needs flight check has to be requested by concerned facility to FICG for immediate restoration of that facility. So, hindi ko, I cannot understand yung sinasabi nyo na ang magdidictate is sa kung anong required ng flight check is yung area sa ano, sila magdidictate kung ano yung gagawin namin. So, there is a fixed time, tapos mayroong mga unscheduled, maraming unscheduled, and OHR. So, doon sa pinresent ko, factor in na yan. Kaya hindi ko lang maintindihan kung ano yung...
Maybe for budget purposes lang.
Siguro lang, siguro.
Re-request and then sabihin nyo na kailangan palit, sila ang magbabudget.
Saka hindi ang ANS ang magdidictate because under document 8071, that is on our mandate. Ang role ng ANS is to, if we miss a flight inspection schedule, is to make a request, pero pang trabaho namin niya to situate na yung schedule is on time. Meron na akong schedule niyan. It's just na-apektuhan lang kapag walang aircraft. Doon lang yun.
Sir, ang parang lumalabas, dapat yata may concurrence yung report mo na ito yung binabudget namin for calibration. Dapat may concurrence ng concern ANS or sa airports na ito nga talaga ang dapat i-calibrate para ma-budget natin nga yung sinasabi natin yung amount.
In regards to the components, pwede rin yan because it was recommended by Mr. Felicilda, Engineer Felicilda in the previous meeting that it has to be validated by ANS and ATS. So, hindi ko alam kung may gumawa nun. But there is a move for that na i-validate ng ANS at saka ATS yung time na pinresent ko. But to tell you the truth, sa akin lahat galing yun. FICG lahat galing yung mga information na yun. But if ever that the Engineer Felicilda so required that this has to be validated or whatever, just to prove that presented time is accurate, well, I have no objection on that. And up to now, wala wala pa namang atang pinorward na ano sa ANS saka sa ATS in regards to those time requirements presented by FID.
Thank you, Manny, for validating my comment. I thought I was wrong. So that was a valid comment.
Yes.
It may cause a little delay, but for the benefit and the safety of the board and as well as the BAC in the procedure per se, I think it's, thank you for concurring and validating the comment that it is needed, or not exactly necessary, but it needs to be validated. It is a suggestion by Felicita which you concurred with.
Yes, but
You understand exactly what those presentations, except of course, si Sir Don, na nag-uusap kayo kung medyo nakaganon na lang ako. Although yung iba, at least, kaya nga sumusunod sa terms of reference. Flight inspection, flight calibration. I remember during one of the meetings, I'm just pointing out, Mania,
yes, sir,
at least for the entire enlightenment also of Miss Joyce. Patuloy lang flight inspection, calibration. Then somebody from NS says, no, you don't do the calibration, you just check. It's another problem na naman yung whatever. So what does that involve? When you inspect and you calibrate, that needs additional work, that needs additional payment, that needs additional funding. Yung mga ano ba lang. Those are mga analogies ko lang, Manny.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kaya schedule kanina, I would have asked you, kasama mo ba yung mga realization pag yun dito? Nakakalipad ba yung aeroplano yun during bagyo na tuloy ba yung flight test? Na ano kung kaya? So within 365 days, ilan ang pahinga niya? Baka hindi na makapag-check as schedule, di ba? May mga bagyuhin tayo. I mean, yung questions ko lang, mga basic questions coming from a layman member of the committee, man.
Yes, sir. So, as if you have noticed yung 2012 na contract, 103 hours, we were able to complete that in less than 3 months. Pagod, pero kaya. Kaya. Tapos, if I may add, the motion of Mr. Pilsida in regards to the validation of those time presented, frankly, gusto kong mag-comment, but just to please everybody na at least yung amount na estimated amount namin, somebody has to check if it's indeed correct. Okay ako doon, but I would like to inform everybody that the only expert in flight inspection is FICD. Walang lahat ng information ng kinakailangan sa amin nagko-consult, but they can do that.
Let me interrupt you on that. We have no question of the expertise of the FICD. The bottom line, I would say, is that we have to justify the numbers of being presented to us.
Yes, sir.
And the terms of the contract. Yun lang yung bottom line. Ang mga numero na pinapresent mo sa amin is just, yun na lang yung malaman mo why we arrive at the number of 200 per year. Walang question dun. We do not suspect anything about this. It's just that we are trying now to justify whether we will enter into a yearly or a multi-year contract. Yun lang yun. Kumbaga, will it be justifiable for us to recommend multi-year contract or a yearly contract? At also lang itong mga numeros na mga binibigay mo sa amin. We will understand that because we understand it also that it is an IKO requirement. Yun na yun. Pag hindi natin ginawa to, tayo naman ang malilintikan dito. Now, we're leaving the floor open for the board for any recommendation whether we will enter into a yearly or a multi-year contract. Yes. I'm leaving the floor open for any comments, suggestions, or recommendations.
Anyway, this will be transmitted to the board eventually. For me, for the sake of convenience, I would rather have it on a multi-year contract, provided that all the requirements of the law will be complied. If it comes to a vote, I will say I will go for a multi-year contract. It's really scary the amount involved, but for the sake of convenience, it's more pragmatic for the user. But again, subject to the strict implementation based on the requirement. But I understand other members from the
It's a bit.
it's up to the individual members.
Yeah, please.
Sa akin sir, yung favor for the title, kanina kasi nabanggit na bidding process ang nagiging problem. Doon kaya nagkakaroon ng operation. Pero kung bidding process, sa kanila rin naging nandito sa tendency na mag-ano rin. Hindi ako nakaganda ng problem for problems. Eh, saka mabilis ang technology sir. Sa 3 years, baka mamaya, alam mo yun, maano yung contract, maano tayo, ma-hold tayo sa 3 years na baka pwedeng meron pang ibang mag-participate kung mas lesser pa ang babayaran.
I would go for the usual. Since we have lived through with it until such time that everything is been stabilized and well presented and justified, then I'll go for the 3 years. And of course, also subject to the requirements as mentioned by the coordinator. But for now, the convenience and prudence dictates also, experience also, like I would settle for 1 year, 3 to 1. And just in advanced planning, as mentioned by those, and but the fact that there is only one bidder, perennial bidder, then if I see this confidence can be questioned, I can always do the advanced planning.
So be noted that the board recommends the yearly contract.
Subject to the approval of the
Yeah, subject to that. We will be raising this issue with the board.
Okay, but the recommendation is to enter into a, rather than a 3-year contract, on a, based on a yearly contract, then we can already implement it because we will be using the facilities to do it.
That's very funny. Kasi kanina na-take up yung validation na INS na hindi ba nagagawa?
On principle, it's already approved, but again, subject to the requirements. So if the ANS needs to validate or revalidate, we will sometime before we issue the contract. Otherwise, we will issue the contract. On principle, we will issue a yearly contract. No, not yearly contract. We will issue 1-year contract now, and then subject to CTD and renewal. But the budget remains to be there. 600 million budget remains to be there. And I think that's more than assurance to any bidder that subject to the qualification standards and subject to their performance, there is always scope for them to be used. 1-year contract is the pleasure of the BAC. Subject, again, I cannot begin to stress and reiterate subjects to the requirements mandated by law and mandated by BAC, which is the iteration and verification from other services such as ANS and EPS. Okay, let me noted.
Okay, thank you, Manny.
Just a little information or comment also. Some as to the funding, because we operate based on a yearly corporate budget, there might be some clarification that this should be needed. Always is 600 million, since we're going to do it on a yearly basis, then the funding has something to do with the yearly budget. There might be something from the financials. How to we go about it? Is it subject to the 600 or to the 100 to 200 based on the yearly contract?
The way not just cut it into 3, like divide it into 3.
So it's going to be 200 because there is to be a certification of availability of funds when you post a program work.
Yeah, number 1. But again, verification kung talaga 200.
Just be ready, Manny, to present it to the board on whatever justification.
Right.
You must be able to expound the presentation that you are presenting to us right now. Because the board might have other things in mind.
Right.
We will recommend a yearly contract, but the board, we cannot assure the rest of the board members that the board might have something in mind on the absorptive capacities, things like that of CAAP. You might be recommending a yearly, but they might be recommending also a 3 multi-year contract.
Yeah.
That all depends on the presentation that you will have. Alright? Okay, thank you. Let's proceed.
Next agenda is 4.2, purchase and delivery of 4-seater gang chair at various airports worth 29,984,477.60.
Again, when you present things like that, various airports, please, break down natin yung mga various airports na yun.
Nice.
Just for the, our consumption. Kasi mamaya, kung kami parallel na naman yan, wala kang type of reach. Mga tipong ganyan.
Here are the list of airports to be provided by gang chairs.
Pare-parehas ba yung design niya?
Yes, sir.
Hindi nyo, I mean, you do not make it consistent with the design existing already in a particular airport?
No, sir. Most of the design kasi, sir, is nagbabari siya sa iba't ibang airport. Meron kasi is binigay galing sa airline, which is fiber glass. Yung iba naman is plastic. So, nag-settle tayo sa stainless steel, sir.
Magaya sa Puerto Princesa kasi, ganda ng gang chair, tapos nung nagganda, napalitan, napakitignan, parang o iba kulay, iba yung material, parang nakasigurado sa bahay sa airport. That's why I'm asking kung pare-pareho ba yan, or did you make it in consonance with the gang chair already existing?
No, sir. So, eto, sir, is iisa lang lahat yung design niya. Different doon sa mga naunang design natin sa airport, sir. Because hindi natin siya may magawang uniform kasi most of the gang chairs procured minsan sa airport na sila na mismo.
Yeah.
Ganun, sir.
Okay.
So, let's proceed po, sir, for pre-procurement.
So, sir, ito po yung specifications natin para sa gang chair. So, we have a 4-seater, 1.5 mm thick, iron seat and back, and powder coated siya. Stainless steel armrest and base included. So, unlike po dun sa mga ibang existing na gang chairs natin sa airport, yung iba is fiberglass, yan ang lumalambot siya katagalan. And yung iba naman po is plastic, which is kadalasang nire-reklamo rin ng ibang mga passenger na pag upo nila is bumabaligtad daw po sila. Yan yung nangyayari. So, nag-settle kami para mas matibay. We go to stainless steel, gano'n nga. Baka lang po din natin.
I'm inclined to to believe also on the comment of Tony Lucas on aesthetics also.
Yes, sir.
Baka pagpasok mo dun sa camera, may pagkulay pa. Masakit sa mata, tingnan niya.
Sir, we can change the color. Actually, wala naman tayong nilagay na color specifications na, pero
Now, what I'm saying is for the sake of uniformity
yes, sir.
on the areas that we will be providing this. Kung hindi man siya pareho, at least kapareho, kamukha man lang siya.
Ano ang best na to?
Yes,
Ganyan lang comment ko. Na kung hindi man siya pareho, at least kamukha man lang siya.
Yung po kasing design ng stainless is parang nagiging generic na rin po siya sa kasi po kung susundin po natin talaga na hindi kaparehas man lang po siya, eh medyo nagbabari na po yun dun sa specification na gagawin sa mag-iiba po yung specification niya. Tapos syempre po pag may pag-iiba sa specification, unit cost, mas babago na rin po yun.
Okay, I am living into the areas na kung paano nila i-arrange. Kung baga yung mag-interior design nila sila dun sa loob. For the first 20 chairs, pareho, and then yung mga luma o mga sila na sa likod. So, we'll just leave it to the areas for the interior design.
Kasi ibig sabihin ng Congress yung dapat yan, di ba meron na lang.
Pwede
lang.
Dulo lang po.
Dulo lang yan.
Yes, ma'am.
Ayaw hindi pwede ka na makaya.
Oh, ito pwede.
Kaya pwede.
Paano kung hindi ka?
Pag-delete. Thank you.
Okay.
Tama yung sukat nito Kasi mga unang in-order yung mga sukat doon, di ko mas i-DMS, didistribute na yun sa mga offices. There was a previous program of work sukat doon, nung i-deliver, dito magkasya sa kanila. So para magamit, distribute sa ibang offices na lang, yung nagre-review sa kukuhan. Ito pang pasaya lang naman doon, pero malaman lang nila ito, rindanan nila. Hindi ko kasya sa rin. Hindi kasya sa kanila yung pinagbili kong kuwan medyo mapayag na tayo sumukat doon
Malaki na siya.
Pag-abit ko yung dalawa.
Okay, you have 7 minutes before break.
Okay.
Okay, sir. For the budget, sir, we have 29,984,474,477, and the amount of the bid documents is 25,000. So bidder must have completed within the period specified in the invitation. Invitation to the public.
Ito kung, ano to? Mission ba ito ngayon?
Ano yan yung video?
Meron na. Operational ba?
Yes, sir.
Live ba tayo?
Okay, single contract that is similar to this project is equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. So similar contract shall refer to purchase and delivery of gang chair.
Gang chair, limited sa gang chair, delivery of gang chair.
Yes.
Office change.
Gang chair na talaga.
Gang chair po specifically 4-seater.
Hindi siya seminar.
Meron din kasi sa mga 5-seater, 3-seaters kasi. So we have to
Yung dun sa 5.6. Single contracts that refer to purchase and delivery of gang chair, ililimit mo sa dyan sa gang chair para makapag-participate yung leader. Ako, we're limiting the participants.
Sir, specifically since kasi sir, ang requirement natin is 4-seater gang chair. So if the supplier delivered 2-seater gang chair or 6-seater gang chair, pwede po siyang sumali sa atin. So nilimit natin sa gang chair na lang.
Gang chair lang. Yes, dapat nakapag-deliver sila ng gang chair.
Gang chair, at least gang chair na specific na like ang one yan sir, 2-seater, 6-seater, 3-seater, or 4-seater.
Ilan lang yung
Di ba yung refer to purchase?
Supply, papalitan ko namin sa supply nila.
Hindi yata ako komportable doon na ililimit na natin si gang chair.
Supply and
We are narrowing our options.
office.
pwede ba yung office furniture? Magiging prejudicial ba sa atin if we change the specification from gang chair to a more generic furniture, say, I don't know,
Yeah. Kung sino man magpa-participate, alam nila yung specifications na kailangan natin. Rather than limiting our options. Kasi kahit kung nakapag-deliver sa 2-3 seater, pero ang requirement natin is 4, I don't see any reason why not.
Marami na siguro nag-bench kayang mag-provide qualify. Kasi if we limit them to those who already participated in the contract, 50%, baka we're limiting the participants.
Kasi kung ako ang tatanungin mo, naglalaro ngayon sa utak kong magkakamalisyoso ko. Kasi parang tinapos na natin, parang meron na tayong bigan na in mind.
Wala isa lang. Target.
Tapos to the 50% of ladies.
Kasi, minsan pare, anong araw ngayon? Webes? Malisyoso ako pag Webes. Parang yun ang masisip ko ngayon.
Maalas sana.
Kaya next time, huwag ka mag-present ng Webes, ha?
Sir, balik na lang natin.
Malisyoso ako pag Webes, pare.
Office furniture.
Okay, sir, we will settle for office furniture para
Oh, better. At least nabawasan mo yung pagkamalisyoso ko.
Kasi kung lagay mo
Supply and delivery yun na.
Yes, ma'am. Okay,
similar.
number 12, 12.1, this will include the submission of Annex A of the Certificate of Field Judge Registration and Platinum membership and shall form part of the bidder's eligibility documents. Failure to submit said document as attachment to the Certificate of Field Judge Registration shall be automatically disqualified. Bid shall be automatically disqualified if any documents listed under Annex A of the Certificate of Field Judge Registration and Platinum membership is found to be expired during the opening of bids. Failure to provide the original documents indicated in Annex A of the Certificate of Field Judge Registration and Platinum membership during the conduct of post-qualification process to verify, validate, and ascertain the authenticity, completeness, and truthfulness of such document shall be automatically disqualified.
Do we have to go over this? Or do we let the technical working group go over that?
Technical na lang, sir.
Okay.
Sir, request for posting for the said project, sir.
Subject to the technical working group. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, 12 o'clock. So let's have a break and then let's continue. No rest. 1:30. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Next time, wag Huwebes,